After we have the pocket all pinned, I'm going to take my big piece that's the body of the bag, and we're going to fold it in half. So it is, if you're looking at it and it's laid out horizontally, I'm going to fold it in half. And this is just so I can find the direct middle of the bag. It should be where your center notch is down at the bottom. So I know that mine is, so I'm not even going to mark it. If for some reason you do not have your notches cut out on your piece of fabric, you'd want to just stick a pin in right here just to mark that spot so you know exactly where your center is. The other thing I need to mention right now is that your bag now will have a bottom and a top. These notches need to be along the bottom of your bag, and so I need to measure from direct center, so that's where this center triangle is. I need to measure 3 inches from the center of the bottom of the bag. So I've got my seam gauge set at 3 inches. I'm right directly in the center. And what I do next is I take that pocket that I just made and I place it so it's centered at that 3-inch mark. Okay, so I want to make sure that it's nice and straight. I also want to carefully make sure that the bottom half of the pocket is the wide part and the more narrow part is up top. So now that it's laid in place, I'm going to take those pins that I had temporarily put in to hold those seams down, and now I'm just going to use those to pin the pocket actually to the bag. And I want to pin to sew, so I want the pins perpendicular to the edge so that as I sew it on, I can just move right over those pins and they're not in the way. Okay, so I just keep pinning them in place. And once you have it pinned in place, that's when you actually get to sew the pocket on. So at this point I haven't really made a pocket yet. I've put a zipper on 2 pieces of fabric, but when I sew it in place, that's when it actually becomes a working pocket. So I've got all of those pinned where they need to be, and you're going to go back to your sewing machine and use a 2.5 stitch length straight stitch, and you're going to top stitch all the way around. And you want to do a nice pivot in the corner, go all the way around, and till you end up back in the same spot that you started. I would recommend starting on a side instead of starting in a corner. So when you're going to start and stop, do it along one of the sides instead of in the corner.